Well, hi there, hey there, hello there, guys. It is Wild Linda Guy. I'm stopping in and checking on you as you stop in and check on me. So glad that you decided to join me today. If you're new to my channel, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button, also the bell notification down below so you're alerted of when I post up new videos, because they do go up at all hours of the day. But anyway, not just something I want to talk to you guys about for a little bit, so let's go ahead and get at it. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, guys, so what I want to talk to you today about is actually it was something that Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto, and that is a channel here on YouTube. I'll go ahead and post her down below. She's amazing. I recently found her and started watching her, and I've learned a lot of stuff from her. She's just brutally honest, and she's strict keto, so it's pretty awesome. But she had posted up the question. Sorry, I scratched my head like a dog. Anyway, she had posted up a question yesterday on one of her videos saying, name something that you gave up since being on keto. And I started thinking about it. Well, when I first started my keto journey, I was 226 pounds, and I am 4'9", and at that time I was primarily in a wheelchair, you could say that. I mean, anytime I went anywhere, I couldn't walk very far at all whatsoever, so I would have to be contained to a wheelchair. I have a hip condition that is called multiple epiphyseal dysplasia, that basically my hip joints, they are disintegrating. Instead of being a perfectly round joint that fits into the socket, mine are not that way. So I have experienced a lot of pain, a lot of loss of mobility. And I'm 40 years old, just turned 40 this year, and when I hit 39, I decided that's when I needed to make a change. So that's ultimately when I started keto, and I wasn't strict keto when I did start. But I started because I wanted my life back. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be able to do things. My husband's too young to be having to take care of a woman who feels twice her age. That's how I felt. I felt like I was in my 80s. But even now with my weight loss, I have lost 75 pounds. My weight loss is just a little bit slower than most because once you reach a certain weight, it's actually hard to drop the weight, and plus I have PCOS, which that makes it hard too. So there's been some things that have kind of stopped my weight loss from being as rapid as most people's. So still right now currently I do have to use a cane for mobility, and a lot of that is because one of my legs is longer than the other, not by much, but enough to where it throws my whole body off kilter, and I have horrible balance issues. So I primarily use the cane just to keep myself balanced. I don't know if that's something that I'll eventually come off of or not, because again, that's not anything to do with weight. That has to do with my bone issue. So I don't know how that'll work, but maybe it'll work. And I know that people talk about how keto helps them with inflammation and things like that. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know if there's a change or something like that. I had something I had to take care of real quick. But what I was saying, I know that sometimes people have talked about how keto has helped them with inflammation or with pain and things like that. But unfortunately, I haven't really experienced that any, and I think a lot of that is just because of the condition that I have. It comes with the pain, comes with the territory. It's not a thing of having inflammation due to being overweight or anything. It's an actual physical condition that I was born with. But anyway, back to what I was even talking about here. From Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto, she talked about things that you've given up. And I just wanted to tell you guys just a little bit of my history, so if y'all wanted to know. But she had asked about, what have you given up? And when I first started my journey and stuff, I didn't see anything wrong with eating the low carb wraps and things like that. But there is definitely a difference between being low carb and being keto. Keto focuses more on the quality of foods that you eat, and completely staying away from wheat products. And I used to eat the Mission low carb tortillas and the Joseph lavash bread and things like that. Sorry if I butchered that, but I used to eat those type of things. And, you know, I noticed that it stalled out my weight loss a lot. You know, I would stay within 1 to 2 pounds. I kept losing and gaining the same 5 to 10 pounds, and that went on for months and months and months and months and months. And I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what, this just isn't working for me. And someone actually called me out on one of my comments, in the comment section of one of my videos. It said, well, do you ever think maybe the reason that no one's watching you is because you're saying you're keto, but you're still eating this crap? And I was like, that can have a lot to do with it, because, you know, to call yourself keto and still consume wheat and sugar and things like that. I mean, you're not keto. I know a lot of people go with the if it fits your macros and, you know, stuff like that, but keto focuses on whole foods. And I went to more whole foods. I mean, you know, eating meats and clean dairies, and vegetables and that type of a thing, and not so much these low carb treats or the Atkins bars and the protein shakes and the blah 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 blah. This stuff has so many things in it. Like, if you've ever turned around and looked at the labels, if you see anything more than 5 ingredients and they're not things that you can recognize, you should never put that in your mouth. That's my opinion on it. So I've kind of adapted that now. So I've stopped doing that. You know, I used to be really bad on the sugar-free monsters, and I'm not knocking anyone. If that's your thing, if that's your jam, that's where you're at, awesome. You do you, I'll do me. But I'm just giving you my own opinion. I'm not saying this is how you're supposed to do it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be the smartest person about keto, but I'm telling you what's worked for me. You know, I used to drink the monsters and everything like that, and I was like, well, you know, they have, they're low in carbs, but there's so many chemicals in that. I mean, who knows what those chemicals are actually doing to our bodies. We were not made to ingest those kind of chemicals, my opinion again. But I started looking at some of the things that, you know, we just don't even think about, like my seasonings. And I had mentioned this on her channel. I commented about it. I looked at my onion powder and garlic powder the other day because I was going to make a chili. And I looked in the ingredients, guys, and do you know that in the Walmart, Great Value brand, whatever, not the organic, but just their regular spices, the onion powder says that it contains wheat and milk. And I was like, why would you need to put wheat in onion powder? I looked at the garlic powder, the same thing. And I started freaking out a bit, you know, because maybe that's why the carb count, for 1 tablespoon of garlic powder or onion powder, it's like 7 to 9 grams of carbohydrates. And it has to come from those fillers. That's the only thing that I can determine it to be, because even an onion is not that much, or garlic's not that much. And I watched MasterChef, and there was one person, and that Joe Bistianovich, whatever his name is, the Italian guy, he actually really got onto someone for using onion powder and garlic powder in their cooking. And he's like, well, you can't call yourself a chef if you use onion powder and garlic powder. And he was like, why not just use onions and garlic? And I was like, that makes so much sense. Am I right? That really does make sense. Why use onion powder and garlic powder if you have onion and garlic on hand? Use the natural products. So that's what I've kind of adapted, you know, here at our house anyway. And I mean, some certain things, you know, like I buy turmeric and, you know, I buy chili powder and cumin and things like that. But I went to the actual organic spices because they contain exactly what they're supposed to contain. Turmeric is turmeric. Cumin is cumin. Chili powder is chilies. You know, you just have to be really smart in reading the labels. That's what I figured out. And even if you think you know what's in something, if you haven't checked that label in a while, go in and check it, because you'd be surprised how they get you. And I think Sandy from Sandy's Losing It said that the other day about some cream that she had bought, heavy whipping cream. And I know I'm going to butcher this, casein or what, because I'm not sure what it is, but in some heavy whipping creams they put in an additive, casein, I don't know. I'm so sorry, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, because even the lady from Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto had mentioned it. And she said it has something to do with, it's like a sea creature or seaweed, or I don't know what it was. But what happened to the days when heavy whipping cream was just fat cream? So Sandy had looked at her thing and she was like, yeah, and this doesn't contain it. And then she's like, well, wait a minute, when did they change that? So I challenge you guys, start noticing on your labels, things that you think don't contain things, do. And it's shocking because I found myself doing that. I don't know if anyone notices with the Heinz ketchup, it used to be 75% less sugar. Well, now it's no sugar added. And I went and looked at the ingredients and I was like, well, that's crazy. So make sure you check out those labels, because companies will change things on you, and you may be, it may change for your good or it could change for your bad. So make sure that you read those labels. And guys, and I'm not saying, I don't have all this money to buy the organic grass-fed beef and butter and, all that stuff. So I do what I can do and what's best for me. If it's on sale, I can afford it. Like I do buy the organic chicken, and I do stuff like that. But the grass-fed beef and stuff for me is just, it's just a little expensive and pricey for me. So I can't personally afford that. But I do the best that I can do. If you're doing keto and you're using margarine, no, because you can buy butter, for about the same price as you can margarine. So, it's a quality. It's a quality of food makes a definite difference. And your body is actually worth it. You are worth buying quality foods. That's how I feel. So I just wanted to speak to you guys just a little bit on that, but I don't mean to be ranty, and I'm sorry if I've offended anyone with my video, but I'm just saying what I found that's worked for me. So I want to thank you guys for stopping in. It means a lot to me. I will see you guys later. Take care and keto on. Bye.